So you get into bed completely exhausted, but your mind won't switch off. You watch the clock, 1 hour, 2 hours. Your mind starts doing the math. If I fall asleep right now, I get maybe 4 hours. Then 3, 2, I just know I won't be able to sleep tonight. That thought alone is a part of what's keeping you awake. And the anxiety doesn't just stay at night. After some time, it starts creeping into the day. By afternoon, you're already dreading bedtime. By evening, the tension is rising. So when you finally get into bed, your nervous system is already activated, already alert, already expecting another bad night, which guarantees one. So what actually breaks the cycle? The treatment I'm about to describe sounds so ridiculous that many of my patients think I've lost my mind. To sleep better, you need to spend less time in bed. It's called sleep restriction, and it's the single most effective component of the most evidence-based insomnia treatment that exists. Here's what nobody tells you. Every time you lie awake in bed, your brain makes the connection. Bed equals wakefulness. Bed equals anxiety. And the more nights that happen, the stronger the connection gets. It's called conditioned arousal. And it's the reason why willpower doesn't work. The reason relaxation tips doesn't work. The reason you can be exhausted all day and wide awake the moment your head hits the pillow. You haven't failed at sleeping. You've accidentally trained your brain to be awake in bed. So a typical patient I see has been in this cycle for months. They spend maybe 10 hours in bed, but only sleeping a total of 5. The other 5 hours are spent lying awake, anxious, exhausted, watching the clock. That's not rest. That's the opposite of rest. And every one of those hours is making the problem worse. Because every hour spent awake in bed is another hour reinforcing the connection. Bed equals wakefulness. The trap gets deeper every night. Here's how it works. Take the same patient as an example, sleeping 5 hours out of a total of 10. We give that patient a new schedule. Wake up time at 7 a.m. Every single day, no exceptions. We always choose wake up time first. Then bedtime at 2 a.m. Only 5 hours in bed in total, matching the time they actually sleep. Wasted hours are thrown away. I usually recommend keeping a sleep diary first, so you know your baseline before you begin. I have one free to download in the description. The first few days are hard, really hard. People are tired, sometimes in the extreme, but something starts to shift. Sleep pressure builds up. The biological tiredness that accumulates while you're awake gets stronger and stronger. By the time 2 a.m. arrives, people are really ready to sleep. Not lying awake anxious, actually ready. And when they get into bed, they sleep. And the brain starts making new connections. Bed equals sleep. And once that starts happening, once you're sleeping consistently 3 to 4 nights, you start moving bedtime earlier, 15 to 30 minutes at a time, slowly extending back toward the sleep duration you need. But this time, actually sleeping it. One more thing worth knowing before you start. Ideally, you want to taper off sleep medication before you begin, not after. Stopping medication mid-treatment or after is much harder. If you're on medication, discuss tapering with your doctor first. But sleep restriction alone is only half of it. The other component is stimulus control. The rule is simple. If you're in bed and not asleep within 20 to 30 minutes, get up. Do something quiet and unstimulating. Read, sit, look out of the window, meditate, whatever. Not your phone, not the TV, not exercise or anything else that gets you activated. Go back to bed only when you feel really sleepy. This feels counterintuitive. You're exhausted. Why on earth would you go out of bed? Because every minute you lie awake in bed, reinforce the connection your brain has built. Bed equals wakefulness. Getting up breaks that pattern. Over time, your brain relearns. Bed means sleep, not anxiety, not clock watching, sleep. Together, sleep restriction and stimulus control don't just help you sleep tonight. They dismantle the trap entirely. Before you try this, you need to know something. It gets harder before it gets better. Most people who fail at this method quit too early. On average, it takes around 6 to 8 weeks. The sleep pressure builds, the anxiety fades, the trap breaks. But only if you commit. Sleep reconstruction takes time, but it is worth it. One more thing worth knowing. Your body clock is regulated by light. Screen light in the hours before bed suppresses melatonin and shifts your body clock later, making it even harder to fall asleep at target time. If you're committing to sleep schedule, reducing evening light is one of the simplest ways to support it. I use blue light blocking glasses from Filter Optics in the evening. Link in the description for 15% off. I've also put together a free sleep guide, the same document I give my patients. Sleep hygiene, the full CBT-i framework and the evidence behind it. Link in the description. If you've been lying awake for months or even years, there is a reason. Your brain learned something it wasn't supposed to. And more importantly, it can unlearn it. There is a way out. I'm Simon, a psychiatrist looking at mental health from an angle most doctors never consider. This is part of a series on sleep, the science, the trap, and how to finally get out of it. Check out my last video on why sleep medication keeps failing us. Subscribe to follow along. See you in the next one.